Right.
Did I write this one as well?
Aye, you did all the funny bits, Jerry.
Oh, that's okay then. We're back in the coffee
Back
shop.
in the coffee shop, yep. I don't trust the postal votes.
You don't trust the postal votes? Why not?
Well, Westminster can, fiddle it.
The best way they can fiddle the vote is to get you not to vote.
Well, I didn't.
Exactly. You don't vote, they have nothing to throw away.
Well, they can throw away the ballot boxes.
What?
They swap them. Bring out the box with all the yes votes in and slip in a similar looking box with the same number of votes in it. They swap them.
This isn't Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, they could do it. All they have to do is get their polling officers from the Secret Service and the police and MFI.
MFI?
System's corrupt. It's corrupt, isn't it? I've heard the stories. I've seen the YouTube videos. Yes votes put into piles with no votes. Shifty looking characters with
Pens.
pens. Yes.
They might look shifty, but they're volunteers working at the count. Are you saying they're from the Secret Service?
Yeah, special branch. Gordon Jackson and everything.
I want to be your husband.
What? The butler from upstairs downstairs?
Put that thing on.
No, don't be daft. The professionals.
There was a butler in the professionals.
No, George Cowley, head of CI5, Bodie Doyle.
CI5 are destroying your vote.
Aye.
Doesn't your mum work at the count?
Well, yes.
Your mum's a secret agent for CI5.
Well, everyone has their price.
I'm more concerned about your mother's ability to count than her loyalty to the state. How many spies do you think they'd need at polling stations to rig the vote?
50, 60,
Goodness sake.
100.
Thousands! You'd need thousands of them. Thousands of spies. They're just folk who work at the count.
But who are they? Where do they come from? They're strangers.
Not local.
They're not strangers. They're local people. Your neighbours and friends. People in our community. Your postman.
He's in the magic circle. I've seen his card tricks. He can do all that sleight of hand stuff.
Oh aye. Come the election, he's palming 900 votes and sticking them down his trousers.
He's got a beard.
He's got a beard. What's a beard got to do with it?
Makes him look Russian.
He's a hipster.
A hipster.
Aye. Sandals and scarves, chips out of a teeny weeny bucket, avocado lattes served in an old light bulb. These are people we know.
I don't know anyone like that.
Well, you know the postman. He's got a beard.
Oh, aye.
Dog walkers, florists, primary school teachers, librarians. Jimmy who sells the bread.
See? It's all tying up.
The minister, for Pete's sake. Do you think he's asking God's forgiveness for stitching us up?
Well, it's his church hall.
Right. Some of these people are just as likely to be our supporters.
But what about the postal vote before it even gets to the count?
You do know we have our own people
Right.
monitoring every step of the count. Our people.
Our people, right, yes.
We have people watching every postal vote being opened and verified.
Right. Well, every vote.
Every vote.
Well, why's that then?
Because we don't trust them. Do you think we're daft?
Well, what about the NDRF? They sent all the postal votes down to England, didn't they?
No.
Yeah, they did.
For what reason?
Open them up. They open them up and swap them.
So let's get this straight. You believe that 700,000 postal votes went down to somewhere in England.
Yep.
A giant kettle steamed them open.
Could happen.
The votes were taken out, swapped, returned to their original envelopes, resealed, sent back in the post to the correct regional counting office, and nobody noticed.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
Well, maybe. Well, okay. They might not have gone down to England, but Ruth Davison knew the result before anyone else. She peaked.
She might have peaked, but we had a peak too.
We did. How?
Because both sides had the option of sending their agents along to monitor the daily opening of the postal votes.
Secret agents.
No, counting agents. We had counting agents there as well.
Finish with that chair.
Help yourself. Amongst the organisers, we all knew that No had won the postal vote. Davison wasn't investigated for knowing what the postal ballot looked like. She was investigated for going public with it. She didn't need to magically change yeses to noes.
Why didn't anyone say?
Because we weren't allowed to.
But Davison did.
Yes, that's why she was investigated.
Because she knew.
No, because she told everyone. It was meant to be a secret. The postal votes are checked every day. They come in, they're opened, verified, and the voters' signatures are checked. Again, it's witnessed by our agents. And they watch for envelopes that have been steamed open. You know, those telltale signs at the edges.
On the edges, yeah.
Of course we look for those with an English postmark.
Well, that's reassuring. Okay, but what about the ballot boxes?
What about the ballot boxes?
They were tampered with.
How?
Between the polling station and the count, that's when it's done.
So you think that in some quiet lay-by, a local bobby takes out a bag of carefully prepared no votes and stuffs them into the ballot boxes?
Yeah.
Or they open the boxes and fish out the yeses?
That's possible.
No, it's not. The number of votes inside needs to match up to the number of votes recorded as cast. We know how many votes are cast by 10 p.m. when the polling station closes.
How do we know that?
Because we ask. You were a polling agent at the referendum. You told me the numbers throughout the day at your polling station.
I just thought you were collecting them, like a hobby.
Like Sudoku. You think I just like numbers?
Well, you're always banging on about stats.
We use that number to make sure they don't fiddle the ballot box. It's the same for every election. So when the ballot boxes are sealed at 10 p.m, we know how many votes are in that box.
Barcodes.
What about barcodes?
Some voting papers had them and some didn't.
Okay, I'll indulge.
Well, maybe no voters were given barcodes and yes voters got blank slips.
You're telling me that the same council workers who struggle to find paper clips because of the Tory cuts are the same ones you've now elevated to mind readers?
How do you explain Dundee?
Dundee.
The fire alarm went off and there was no fire. The building was evacuated.
Is that when they brought in the lorry load of yes votes?
Eh?
Dundee, the yes capital of Scotland.
Well, this bloke in the pub said a van was found in Middlesex the day after the count, full of yes votes.
The day after the count.
Yep.
After the election, all the voting papers are stored under a court order for a year in case they need to investigate any accusation of electoral fraud.
Electoral fraud?
I suggest your pub informant was pished.
I know. But you can't watch everything. They're clever. They can slip things through.
Who are they?
You know, them. They can rig the count.
You do know that the postal count verification is also carried out by volunteers. The teachers,
You seem to be finding some difficulty in speaking, Keith.
the dog walkers, the florists,
Jimmy the bread.
Jimmy the bread. Yes, again, folk from our community verify the postal votes, and they also do the count on the day.
But they could be, you know, plants planted by them.
Some of the people working at the count have been doing it for over 20 years. Do you think they planted sleeper agents back in the last century in the off chance that there might be an independence referendum?
Yeah, why not?
Because the sheer scale of the operation would be huge. How are you going to keep it a secret? How much money would you have to pay people forever to keep it quiet? Next you would tell me the moon landings were faked.
You have to admit, those shadows are dodgy.
This is important.
Finish with your plates.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
At every stage of the count, we have polling agents. From the opening of the postal votes,
We can be observed by the candidates' agents and other observers that are allowed.
through to the checking of polling stations and the ballot boxes on the day. At the count, we witness the boxes being opened and the votes being counted. At every stage, our people monitor and check the process. So you can trust the postal votes. They're important. They make a difference.
But some people like to go down the polling station. It's a bit of exercise, you know, a day out.
A day out might be pushing it. If you're someone who always votes, then great. Just go down on the day and vote.
You don't want me to get a postal vote.
Yeah, obviously you need one. But if someone votes every time, then it makes no difference. Voting on the day, voting by post, it counts the same. But if, in the past, on polling day, you found yourself
In a caravan in Doonray,
or you just
can't be bothered.
You can't be bothered. Apply for a postal vote. Send your vote by post and relax, knowing you've done your bit. Help the independence or your party to win.
Right. Right, well, how do I get this form? What do I do?
I thought you'd never ask.